Welcome to Pfthinks from Praise for International Studio, Lagos, Nigeria. How are you doing today? I'm loving what we're discussing today. Amazing day. Episode 60. We've got into 60 already. Are you ready? Call your friends. We're live. Thunder flow, I will soar with you above the floor. Father, you are king over the floor. I will be still and know you are God. And the ocean rise and thunder flow, I will soar with you above the floor. Father, you are king over the floor. I will be still and know you are God. Okay. I love that song because it ties perfectly into what I'm going to be sharing with us today. Good morning, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Praise Forward, and this is episode 60 of Pfthinks. Now, we've been running a healing series all through this week, and we end it today. And today, I want to talk about rest. I want to talk about rest. Now, because when I asked my mentor the three most important things about my health, he said to me, good nutrition, good exercise, and rest. Good nutrition, good exercise, and rest. And many years ago, I realized that my nutrition was good. I realized that my exercise was, fantastic. The only thing I lacked was rest. And why did I lack rest? Because I have stuffed all kinds of things in my brain. I grew up listening to people who said things like, made statements like, if you sleep for 5 hours or 6 hours every day, by the time you're 70, you would have slept for 30 years of your life. So I starved myself of sleep, starved my body of the desired rest, because sleep is not necessarily rest. And before I knew it, I'd become a workaholic, sleeping like 3 hours a day. I didn't know that was damaging my health until my health began to fail. Then I began to learn that if you don't rest, you will be late to rest. So today, I'm going to be speaking with you on the subject of rest. A lot of people see me work very hard. They do not know that I rest. I've structured my life in a way that it promotes my wellness and what I do. Now, I have defined rest as a state of tranquility where you stop laboring because you are quite certain what you truly seek has been delivered, even if it can't be seen physically yet. It's an absolute state of serenity in absence of worry and agitation. So rest is a state where you are not agitated. I love the way King David puts it. Great peace are those that love the Lord, and nothing makes them afraid. It's a state where even if the whole world is collapsing around you, you are in an absolute state of serenity. It's a state of consciousness, a state of inner mastery. A lot of us are afraid of so many things. We're agitated, so we put our body in a consistent panic mode where your body is on a flight mode. It wants to run away from something because that's the way we're framed. Our mind, our brain is framed, is wired to protect us. So consistently is in a state of flight or fright. He wants to run, he wants to attack, and that is what puts a lot of stress on people. So someone has a budget he has not met, his house rent is coming, he's agitated as if that agitation can pay the rent. Someone is feeling a kind of pain in their body, they are agitated as if that agitation can stop death. So we get worried about too many things, we get stressed about so many things that even in our quest to rest, we realize that we can't rest. And average human beings struggle to rest, and that messes up a lot of their mental wellness. It messes up a lot of their body system, and before they know it, they are already in a state of crisis. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you what you can do to truly experience the rest that you seek. Now, if you are ready today, just come along with me. Now, I have come to realize that many of us, we do not understand the role of faith. Even though we talk about it, even though we preach about faith, we do not understand that before you can truly rest, you need to labor. Now, you need to labor before you can enter into a state of rest. A lot of us are agitated about too many things, right? That our rest is totally compromised, and we do not even know that our state of rest has been compromised. That the capacity to bind our heart and focus our mind no longer exists in us. So if I ask you, if you're listening to me today, to release your mind and not think about anything for about 5 minutes. How many of you can do that? If I ask you not to think about anything for 5 minutes, how many of us can actually achieve that? You will realize that many of us will struggle because it's not something we are used to. We're used to thinking and thinking and thinking about things that we don't even know about. We're used to distraction. We gossip. We talk about so many things. Yes, I know Facebook went off. It's a network system here, but I'm glad we're live on IG, so I can actually put it back later. Okay. Now, so consistently, our rest is compromised because we do not even know how to rest any longer. Okay. Now, so today you need to understand that rest is not necessarily sleep. Sleep is a type of rest, but a lot of us sleep without resting, right? A lot of us have concluded in our mind that sleep is rest. Sleep is not necessarily rest. Sleep is a type of rest. You can sleep and not rest. So consistently, you will notice that there are times you sleep and you wake up still tired. What happens is that your system did not rest because your system is in a flight mode. So you did not close your day properly, and because your body still assumes that you are at work, it just continues to work. Now, so that's why you wake up tired and you realize that, hey, you thought you have slept for 10 hours, but you still realize that there are body pains and there are body aches that you are experiencing within your system. Now, so rest is not often sleep, even though sleep is a type of rest. Number two, rest is a function of your beliefs. Rest is a function of your beliefs. A lot of us, so if you were like me, who listened to someone that we used to respect way back, who told us that, if you sleep for 5 hours or if you sleep for 7 hours, by the time you are 70, you would have slept for 30 years of your life. We will feel guilty when we truly want to sleep to rest, or we will feel guilty on your need to rest. Now, the person talking does not understand that our body system totally differ one from the other person, which is why some people can eat breakfast and they are fine. Some people will eat lunch and they are fine. Meanwhile, someone else needs to eat 3 times daily, which is why you need to stop getting worked up over all kinds of health remedy, diet remedy, nutritionists who tell you, some people tell you do keto, some people tell you do this, do that. A lot of people have had their system totally messed up by not first understanding their body system, because the person talking to you online does not understand the peculiarity of your body. There are some of us, if you don't eat breakfast, you will almost pass out. But some people, they can do juices in the morning and they can afford to take one cooked meal per day and they are fine. But some people, system is not designed that way. If you do not fact find and understand your body system and find what works for you, you will destroy your system following a help remedy or recipe that is not meant for you. And a lot of people have died that way, which is why you see some people, they had that someone went on Daniel's fast or someone went on 40 days fast and they want to start their life by going on 40 days fast. People have died, doing that. So you need to understand that rest is a function of your beliefs. 3, your belief is a function of the information you have accepted as your truth. Note my word carefully. Your beliefs is a function of the information you have accepted as your truth. A lot of us do not know that what you believe is not often the truth. It's what you have accepted to have been the truth. Now, your acceptance of it could have been way, way, way back when you didn't even know yourself, when you were way too young to even decipher what is right from wrong, but you have come to accept it. Now, the information you have accepted, however, is a function of your filters through which you process reality. And this determines what you delete, distort, and generalizes. Okay, and this is very, very instructive, that the information you have accepted is a function of your filters. Now, your filters is how you process reality, which is why if I say some things to you, you will not accept it because your filter has been built to protect you. Which is why a typical Christian sees a Muslim and is shut down. A typical Christian sees a kind of book that doesn't align with his Bible and is shut down. He's not even interested in listening to what the person has to say. What is happening there is that your filters that has been installed is trying to protect you, is trying to shield you from what you consider to be wrong information, which may not necessarily be wrong information, but you have been conditioned and built in a way that your filter protects you from whatever is not in sync with what he has come to believe as truth. So we, in that situation, delete information we do not consider ecological, we distort, and we sometimes generalize. Which is why you hear statements like, all Igbos are, all Yorubas are, all Hausas are, all men are, all women are. You hear those kind of generalization, which is not often true. So I hear women say to me, all men are cheats. And these are single ladies. Then I ask them, how many men have you dated in your life, right? And they tell me, oh, I've dated like 10. So you have dated 10 out of 3.8 billion men that exist on this planet, and you concluded all men are cheats. You have not dated the Japanese. You have not dated the Chinese. You have not dated an American. You have not dated the British. You have not even dated, within Nigeria, if you live in Nigeria, you have not dated Udoma. You have not dated Igbo. You have not dated Edo. You have not dated Delta. You just dated 10 men, and you concluded all men are cheats. Now, this is a function of your internal filters. Now, your filters, however, is framed by your upbringing, your environment, and your significant experience in life. Your filters is framed by your upbringing. So, for example, imagine you are from a poor background, your family is poverty, you're from a very poor background. What will be your belief system? You will almost believe that rich people, everyone that is rich, is using something. Because your father was never rich, everyone around you was never rich, you will believe that people who are rich are using something, or you will believe that you need to be rich so that you can deal with poverty. Which is why you see a poor man is a man who makes money and all he has to show are toys. So when you see some of our guys who flaunt cars, who flaunt houses on social media, it's a major symptom of poverty, because the richest people on the planet don't flaunt cars and houses and all this kind of things. You will not see anybody within the top 10 in the world on Forbes list who you go to his page and what he recommends is, this is the car I've just bought now. You have never heard Bill Gates talk about the car he's bought. You've never heard Warren Buffett talk about his car. You've never heard Mark Zuckerberg talk about his car. Elon Musk, who is even the creator of Tesla Motors, right, does not talk about his cars. These guys talk about the books they are reading. They talk about the projects they are doing. They talk about the solutions they are bringing to this human space. They do not talk about toys. Talking about toy or displaying toys on your page is a symptom of poverty. Every time you see that, you need to pity that person because he's so poor or he's so rich, all he has is money, right? So your filters is framed by your upbringing, by your environment, and your significant emotional experience. Now, today, I want us to take a quick look at some of your filters and find a way to rejig your filters, because you cannot change your life unless you change your filters. And in therapy, that's what I do with my client. I try to help them challenge their filters, rework their filters. Once you rebuild their filters, you totally change the man. Now, whatever you can tolerate, you will not change. Which brings me to the question, you cannot rest unless you truly know who you are, you truly know what you want. A lot of us are manifesting pseudo-personality. We don't know who we are. What we believe about ourselves was what someone somewhere, a leader, a mentor, a religious leader, your parents, or people around you told you about you. So for example, your name was not chosen by you. Your name was imposed on you by your parents. They slapped it on you based on their own reality. It had nothing to do with your destiny. It was what they assumed in their assumption that, okay, this is a second child. Let us call him Oladimeji. They slapped that label on you. They did not ask you questions about what kind of school should we send this child to based on the traits it's showing. They just slammed it on you and they put you in the next available school, and before you know it, you were exposed to all kinds of teachers whose reality and exposure cannot drive where you are supposed to go with your life, because they did not bother to ask the fundamental question. Now, so if you want to change your life, you got to change your filters. Your filters are about 7 of them. Number 1 filter is your values. Now, values has been defined as a set of concepts that determine the intrinsic worth of a thing. Now, your values determine what is most important to you. They determine what you call character. Your values is not who you hope to become. It is what drives your decision making at the moment. Your values determine your spending and how your time and your life and your money is spent. Okay? Now, how important is rest to you is a function of your values. So if I ask you, what do you spend your time and your money on? I will know what is valuable to you. So I see someone who says family is a core value for me, and they have given him a job that will take him 100 miles away from his family for the next 3 years, and he jumps at it. That person is lying. Now, so consistently, a lot of us have embraced values that is not our values, and that is not in congruence with where we want to go. Because what you should embrace as a value, maybe it's not popular. So for example, when people create their core values, you will hardly see fun as a core value. You will hardly see play as a core value, because we have kind of associated the energy of unseriousness to fun and to play. Meanwhile, for you, who is a free-spirited, who just wants to enjoy life, fun and play can be parts of your values. So when I see people's core values, I see integrity, even when they don't believe in integrity. I see holiness, even when they are struggling to be holy. I see funny words, that makes them look spiritual, right? Even though those spiritual words cannot lead them in the direction of their authentic self or who they truly are. So you don't see play, you don't see fun, you don't see romance. Romance can be a value to you, right? You don't see play. Play can be a value. Fun can be a value, a natural value. All right. So you don't see people put all those kind of serious words in quote. So they put serious words. Words like holiness is a value. Righteousness is a value. Okay, responsibility, seriousness is a value. Heaven can even be a value to some people, right? So, how important is rest to you? Now, do your present values truly reflect who you are and where you want to go with your life? If you have to forget about everything you have been taught in the religious space, everything they've taught you as a child, if you have to redesign your life, what kind of life would you want to live? Right? You need to answer that question as an adult, to say your life should now determine the values you embrace. A lot of us have not defined our life. We just embrace the value an organization imposed on us. Even that you are struggling with that value is proof that it may not be your core value, right? And don't be ashamed to trash it and embrace what is your core value. I'll give you an example. I was teaching a class one day, and I got to the point of, what do you like about yourself? And a lady raised her hand in class. Everybody knew she was a single girl, and she said, no, I asked, what do you like about yourself? Because we were talking about the fact that people don't understand themselves. And the lady said, I love the fact, the only thing I've noticed about me is that I kiss very well. And the class went haywire, and people looked at her to say, hey, hey, hey. And I said, calm down, allow her, right? And I said, why do you think you kiss very well? And she said to me that she's been in 2 relationships. And every time she had kissed, that she was, she experienced a kind of joy she had never experienced before. So I asked her to close her eyes and to take her mind back to those 2 cases that she's had, right? And she began to, you could see her eyes lit. She began to glow. And for the first time, she started shedding tears. And the whole class went quiet. And I said to them, you know why? Because many of you dwell in the realm of right and wrong, right? And so what I would have done at that point is to impose my own values on her. I've not even bothered to ask whether she's a Christian or she has subscribed to my values. Oftentimes, we expect the whole world to abide by the values we have chosen for ourselves, forgetting that we are not the whole world. The whole world is different from us. This lady says, this is what makes me tick. This is what makes me happy. Now, I was about to impose my own Christian values on her when she's not a Christian, right? So, by the time we were done, she called me aside and she said to me, she said, Praise, you do not know what you have done for me, right? It's been a long time that I've come to appreciate myself, because every time I talked about these cases, people talk me down, they call me sinner, they call me all kinds of things. Now, I have learned as a therapist that what you persecute will grow. If we are not willing to accept people without judgment, we cannot influence them, right? So I started working with her, and I realized that she also used to drink. Right? She drank, and she was drunk, and she came to my office one day and she was scattering everywhere, and gradually I worked with her, and she said to me, after 1 year, Praise, I've stopped drinking. I have now found other things that I love, right? So what are your values? The things you call your values right now, are they moving you in the direction of where you want to live? Do they promote your capacity to rest? Right? You need to answer that question. Number 2 filter is your beliefs. Your beliefs are convictions that you have held to be true in life. Note the word convictions that you have held to be true in life. They form the boundaries of the condition of your thinking. Your beliefs, to a large extent, drive your behavior and your result. I love that scripture that says, to him that believes, all things are possible. So if you believe you are small, it will be your reality. If you believe you are big, it will be your reality. If you believe you are stupid, it will be your reality. If you believe you are wise, it will be your reality. If you believe that all good things will come to you, it will be your reality. If you believe you need to work till you die before you can make $1 million, it will be your reality. But I have learned that many of the things we seek will only come in a place of rest. That if you don't cease from your labor and rest, many of the things you want will not come. In fact, it has been said that orderliness is a prerequisite for prosperity. That when you put orderliness around your life and put structures in place, is a natural invitation for prosperity. So your beliefs are the conditions you have held to be true. So what do you believe about rest, and what do you believe about life? What do you believe about rest, and what do you believe about life? Now, if your belief about rest is the fact that, hey, if you rest, your life will not work. If you rest, you will be poor, which is what people have taught over time, which is not totally correct. They say, oh, if you rest too much, you just realize that one day you have woken up and you have become very poor, right? If that is what you believe, now it will affect it will affect the way you behave. So you need to troubleshoot many of your belief systems to ask yourself, the things I believe, is it actually correct? Is it actually correct? Because if you do not change your beliefs, your lives cannot change. And remember, your belief is not always the truth. Your belief is what you have held to be true. Now, so what have you believed? What have you believed about your life? What have you believed about rest? What have you believed about work? What have you believed about prosperity? For example, do you believe that you need to roll on? What do you even believe about God? Do you believe that you need to roll on the floor, right, for God to bless you? Do you believe that you need to bribe God and give money for God to bless you? Now, it just shows that you do not understand who your Father is. And let me tell you this, how you are relating with God is a function of the God that was introduced to you. It's a function of your belief system. Your belief is not always correct, right? Which is why if you say to Prince Charles, Prince Charles, I need you to wash the toilet so that you can serve God, Prince Charles will look at you and he will think you are ridiculous. You know why? His brain will reject that instruction because he's a royalty and he knows he does not have to clean toilet to show God that he's serving God. Do you understand? Now, that instruction, however, can work for you, right? You will clean toilet and you will think you are serving God, and maybe you will receive some blessing because it's your belief, right? Which is why it's called the placebo effect. We have seen people who believe that only injection can cure them, and they have put ordinary water inside the syringe and injected them, and they became whole, they became well, right? Because that's their belief. Be it unto you according to your belief, which is why your belief is so powerful. What is your belief about rest, right? I love to meditate because when I meditate, I attain serenity, right? And if I meditate for 30 minutes, you would have thought I have slept for like 2 hours. But that doesn't mean I don't sleep. I sleep an average of 7 hours every day. Trust me, I no longer feel guilty for sleeping for 7 hours. In fact, there was a day I slept for 10 hours and I felt rejuvenated, right? So what is your belief about life? Your belief is what you have held to be true. So if your belief is what you have held to be true, and if your belief will work for you, why don't you believe the best about you? Why don't you believe that all is going to be well? Why don't you believe that you're going to be very wealthy and you're going to give to nations? Now, number 3 filter is your attitude. Now, your attitude is a sense of settled behavior, reflecting feelings or opinion. Your belief, your attitude is a complex mental state involving beliefs and feelings and values, right? It's your disposition towards certain things. So what is your attitude to life? How do you interpret life? Some people's attitude to life is that we are just here to work and die. If that is your attitude to life, you will not play, you will not dance, you will not go to parties, you will not go to club, you will not even enjoy life, you will just work to pay bills and die. What a miserable way to live. But if your attitude to life is that life is play, you will catch your fun. People will call you unserious, but you are balling, you are enjoying yourself. It's been proven that people who are humorous, they live longer than people take themselves too seriously. Now, if you always think that you do not need to struggle for things to come your way, that will be your reality. And your attitude to life will be when everybody is agitated, you are calming down because you know the value of building the right networks and you need to press those buttons to deliver what you seek per time. Now, what is your attitude towards rest? I believe our attitude towards rest is the fact that we need to structure our rest to say, Every 12 o'clock, I will break my day into two. I used to do that many years ago when I started work. Once it's 12 o'clock, I will shut down everything I was doing at work and I'll get into gratitude challenge. I will sit on my seat, right? I will free my mind and I'll imagine every good thing happening to me. It totally changed my life way back, right? So what is your attitude towards life? Because it's been said that your attitude determines your altitude. If your attitude is wrong, your result is going to be wrong. Next filter is your memories. This is powerful. Your memory is the mental capacity or faculty of retaining and reviving facts or events. Now, the question I always ask is your memory more of pain or pleasure? If your memory is more of pain, if your memory is more of what has not worked, your body cannot rest. Your body will be in a state of agitation consistently. But if your memory is more of pleasure, it's more of what is working, your body will be in a state of rest. That even when calamity breaks, your body will naturally calm down because your body will remind you that you have overcome this before, right? And you will overcome this again. Many of us simply forget what we have overcome. So when smaller challenges now show up, we get into agitation, forgetting that there was a time in your life you were indebted to the tune of 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 100 million, and you survived it. You were sick, you survived it. So why are you afraid of corona or whatever you are feeling right now? You need to understand that Dr. Joe Dispenza made a statement I will never forget. He said, our memories must no longer be a feeling of past pain. Our memory must now become the pleasure of our future. And what he believes is that you can simulate your memories in the sense that so right now, you can feel that you are very wealthy. You can feel that you are healthy. You can feel that you are wise and enjoy it because your brain cannot differentiate between what is real and what is simulated. So he believes that if you simulate it, right, and you move to the next minute, the last minute becomes your new memory. If you sustain that memory and repeat it over and over again, it forms neural line in your brain that becomes the newest memory. That you try to remember your past or pain, you can't even remember it. Which is why sometimes in therapy, we take people through a process that even though they've been a victim of abuse before, domestic violence, they completely forget it. We numb it in their brain. We simulate what is what, the pleasure, and what they now begin to feel are the things that are pleasurable. And guess what that does? It secretes the feel-good hormones into their body, and we've seen people become healed of high blood pressure by engaging in this activity. So when your memory is full of pain, your body can never rest. Your system can never rest. Which is why cancer has been traced to unforgiveness in many cases. That there has been proof right now or people have become cured of cancer by getting to a state of serenity, forgiving everyone in their past that has hurt them. Now, so you need to understand that if you change your memory, you can change your life. Your memory can now be full of pleasure of what works, which is why when something works for you, you need to sit down on it mentally, exaggerate it, let it sit with you consistently so that every time you look back, you no longer see pain. What you see is pleasure. If you change your memory into a pleasurable structure in the way that when you think, you sit to think, all you feel, and which is why I love Philippians 4:8, which says the things you must think about are things that are lovely, are things that are honorable, are things that are virtuous, are things that are that promote your well-being. That if you are consistently thinking about what works, right, what is working, the money you have made, the business deal that has come past through, your children, how they did well, if that is your consistent recollection of your past, it will secrete the feel-good hormones. You will feel good in your body, and your body will get into a natural state of rest. The next filter is your decision. Now, while memory perpetuates belief, decisions are cornerstones of your belief. Now, your decision is responsible for where you are right now. You consistently take decision. In fact, not taking a decision is also a decision. So, what decision is responsible for where you are? And what decision will you take about your ability to rest from now? If you decide to say every 7 p.m., I will take a work and rest and do mundane things. Let me tell you, you don't have to close your eyes to rest. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I want to rest, what do? I go out of my house, I look into the moon, and I attempt to count the stars. Right? It's a mundane exercise. It doesn't make sense, but I look straight into the moon. Guess what that does? It sharpens my ability to observe. The capacity to observe has been taken away from many of us as human beings, right? Which is why opportunities pass you by and you can't see, because you have been conditioned to believe you walk by faith, not by sight. But you need to see something first before you can activate faith. God asked Abraham, what do you see? And that's the father of faith. The father of faith is seeing, but the recipient of faith are saying you walk by faith, not by sight. Excuse me, you need to activate your capacity to see. So when I stare into the moon and I attempt to count the stars, I sharpen my observation ability, which is why I'm able to see what the ordinary eyes can't see in many cases. So that's a decision I've taken. I do it almost every day. So you can take that same decision for yourself to say your rest will be structured. That every 7 p.m. you will take a walk and attempt to look at the trees, attempt to look at the leaves, attempt to observe the birds fly, right? These are mundane activities that can promote your mental wellness and rest. You can decide to dance, right? You can decide to recollect something that has worked for you, right? These are activities you can do that will totally transform your life and promote your mental peace, right? Where you become like a child and play once again without guilt. Life is not about paying bills. That is what has killed many of us and taken rest away from us. You are always thinking of the next bill, the next meal. You have completely forgotten that there was a time in your life you were not earning what you are earning right now, and you did not get into debt. That there was a time in your life you were not even earning anything, yet you ate 3 square meal, everything worked for you. How come you have forgotten that you used to be a child and you never used to bother about payment of bills, about what can go wrong, yet all your needs were met? Because God is committed to your needs, not your want. What puts people in crisis are their wants. So for example, your needs are the things you can't do without. Your wants are luxuries. For example, you are thirsty. What you need is water. Water is a need. Coca-Cola is a want. Even when you now go for the want, you still realize that you are still thirsty, right? You see people, they want accommodation. What you need is shelter. It doesn't have to be duplex. But people who can afford duplex, we go and hire a duplex, put their children in schools they can't afford. Then they begin to stress themselves, break their health to destroy themselves. Let me tell you, the amount of the school fees you pay is not a determinant on who your child can become. You need to understand that. But we fail to realize that we assume and convince ourselves that the more expensive the school is, the better your child becomes. Check all Nigerian presidents. None of them went to private school. Check all the governors. None of them went to private schools. But these are the people who rule over us. Now, where are all the people we've sent to Harvard over the years? They are working for the people who went to public schools. Anyway, that's a decision for another day. So, go for your needs and not your wants. If you stay within the ambit and the boundaries of your needs will always be met. Maybe your want may not be met. So your need is transportation. So Danfo is available, Uber is available. Your want is to have a Pajero or to have a Hummer. That is a want. Your need is transportation, and transportation can be leg waging, which means you can use your leg. It means you can get into a bus. It means you can get a bicycle. It means you can get a bike, or you can take Uber. Whichever one. Separate your needs from your wants. So decision is very critical. You need to take a decision about your rest. How will you rest from today? The next thing, which is second to the last, are your languages. Language allow people to take their mind to previously unexplored places. The words I speak to you are spirit and life. What are your favorite words? And how do they contribute to your well-being and your stress level? Now, if I sit with you for 10 minutes and I hear the words that come out of your mouth, I will know why you are stressed. So some of us, you use words like mogbe, modaron, moku, ha, this life is hard, oh, Nigeria is bad, oh, things are hard, oh, things are not working. Your body hears these things and it puts you in a flight mode. You need to understand the words that you speak are spirit and life. So when you are around a group or you belong to a group where they're always complaining, they're always ranting, your body, your ear is the only everlasting organ in your body. So even when you are asleep, everything they have said begins to come back to you, and it puts your brain in a flight mode, which leads to agitation, panic attacks, and overall stress around you. Which is why if the groups you belong to on WhatsApp is not promoting your wellness, take yourself out of those groups now. Now, the words I speak to you are spirit and life. If you change your vocabulary, you can promote your mental wellness. So if you change your words to, instead of, yay, mobe, you can say, oh, sugar, right? Sugar, you cannot mention sugar and frown, right? Or, oh, honey, you cannot mention honey and frown. You need to select your own vocabulary and make them work for you. So when you feel weak in your body, you can make statements like, my body is rejuvenated. When I feel head banging, I say to myself, God has made me the head of nation. So I'm thinking too much about all the nation God has given me, and that's why my head is banging. Let me go and sleep a little. And I go to bed almost immediately. Now you can redesign your life by the words you speak. The words, however, can destroy your life. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. There's a translation that says people have died for saying the wrong thing. So your languages are very important. You need to create the words that empower you, the words that promote your mental wellness. The words I speak to you are spirit and life. So if I ask you to write 10 of your favorite words down right now, what will those words be? Positive or negative, that you use frequently. If you write them down, right, I can literally tell you why you are overly stressed, right? So look for positive words, right? So when my spouse does something I don't like, let's say your spouse always gets you angry, you can change the meaning and say, oh wow, he has joined Nollywood, so he's acting the role of the angry husband. That's the new movie they are shooting, right? So he's rehearsing, right? So if you say that, you realize that it will change your interpretation of what is happening, and it will change your reaction to what he's doing. Instead of agitation, you will now begin to look at him and you are laughing because you are enjoying the movie. Now, these are the things that human being is capable of doing, but you need to activate your power to make this happen for you. The last filter is your meta programs. Your meta programs are context-dependent thoughts and behavioral patterns that includes your awareness of time, response to challenges, and the direction of your energy. Basically, this is talking about your temperament. A knowledge of yourself will enable you rest effectively. So, for example, if you are an intimidating Homer, the people they call choleric, the way they rest is by engaging in a physical exercise, right? If you are a creative convertible, the people you call sanguine, they rest by talking and by touch, right? That's the way they rest. So if you have a creative convertible loves to touch, somebody can look at him and say, you are too carnal. Why are you always touching? That is who he is. That is not you. Does not mean that you can't do it. Doesn't mean other people don't need it, right? So we need to allow people be the best version of themselves without judging. They are not you. Whatever nurtures them is what they need to do. Now, if you belong to dependable truck, which is the personality they call the flag needs to rest by watching movie or by sleeping. But you can look at the flag and say, you watch movie too much, you sleep too much. Excuse me, that is the way they need to rest. You love physical activity, another person loves touch, they love to watch movies and to sleep. But if you belong to male or what we call dependable systematic Ford, they love to read journals, they love to be alone when they want to rest. So when you say you are a loner, you are this, you are that, don't judge people. The problem of humanity is we see others through our own lens and we expect everyone to behave like us. Everyone cannot behave like you. Somebody will tell you what nurtures me is massage. But you would say to him, you are carnal. How can massage nurture you? Excuse me, you are not an intuitive feeler, so you do not know how it feels. Somebody else will say, every time I rest my head on somebody's lap and they pat my back, I relax. But you look at it and say, you are too flirty. Excuse me, you are not them. So what has happened over time is people love touch, are forced to deny themselves because the religious space says they are carnal. So they have to secretly receive touch because we have not accepted the fact that that is what nurtures them. We need to be loyal to what nurtures us. We need to promote what promotes your well-being, what gives you rest consistently is what you need to embrace, and you need to be true to yourself. Martin Luther King says 2 things you must do by yourself: you're believing and you're dying. As long as you are convinced what you're doing is not wrong. So some people, you just see them dance, and what do we say? You say, how can you be dancing to what is secular? Who defines secular? Who defines spiritual? We have put all kinds of laws on people that is messing them up, is not setting them free, is putting them in unnecessary bondage. They are not finding solution, but we keep inventing new laws. Meanwhile, we are doing something else. It is time to set people free. You deserve to rest. Your body deserves to rest, which is why God Almighty, after working for 6 days, he rested on the 7th day. Humanity is designed to work for 6 days and to take a day off to rest. You need to build that into your schedule. Don't always think you need to work every day for you to make money. Have you not realized? One day I was talking to my wife and I looked at the way I decided to monitor how my money comes. Then I realized that the bulk of the money I needed to spend in a month comes in less than 10 days. Then I said to my wife, I have checked my pattern. It looks like I only need to work 10 days in a month for me to be able to take care of my needs. And it was shocking to her. So I said, so all the other 20 days I am going to work. I'm just going to there to sit down and eat and come back home. Right? Because an unexamined life is not worth living. Many of us never examine our pattern. Look at your life. What has worked for you in times past? What is the time in your life that you experience the highest form of serenity and peace and health and wellness? What were the things you were doing at those times? Who were the people you are with at those times? If you check your life right now that is stressed, you have stopped doing the things you used to do when you used to experience serenity. Right? Because people have classified it secular, spiritual, godly, or ungodly. They put all kinds of laws on you, which has destroyed your serenity, destroyed your ability to play, destroyed your life that you can't even find your life again. Friends, it is time to take your life back and enjoy the beauty of life again. I will end today's session by quoting the word of the ultimate master. His name, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. And I'll take this one from the Message translation. Hear me. Are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me. You will recover your life. I will show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and walk with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you will learn to live freely and lightly. That's the translation that KJV says, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. The Message translation puts it this way. I'll read it again. Are you worn out? Are you tired? Worn out? Burnt out on religion? So which means he knows that religion can burn you out. Come to me. Get away with me. And you will recover your life. I will show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and walk with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you will learn to live freely and lightly. That is Jesus speaking. I want you to meditate on that today. Remember, he will not place on you any burden that is too heavy to carry. Once you begin to experience stress, God is no longer there. You need to take a break and go to the other side with him so that you can observe how he does it, and you will find rest for your soul. I wish you all the best today. And as you take the desired rest, all your body, your energy will come back, your life will begin to work again, good things will begin to come your way. Prosperity does not move in the direction of chaos. Prosperity moves in the direction of serenity. Create your serenity and watch good things come your way. It's a simple law of attraction. God is looking for a place where he can plant a seed of peace. But you need to create an environment of peace for him to come live with you. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful for someone out there. I love you, I celebrate you, and I believe that you will fully enjoy the desired rest that you seek. My name is Praise for we're speaking from Praise International Studio, Lagos, Nigeria. Have a fantastic day. I love you and I celebrate you. Bye-bye.